Nigerian agency Smedan budgets 5 billion naira to purchase vehicles for selected traditional rulers. So, a report by Public Accountability Platform Tracker has noted that over 2,558 projects worth over 624 billion naira were allocated to agencies outside their official mandates in the 2024 budget. And this Smedan, known as the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, has allocated 5 billion naira for the procurement and distribution of official vehicles to selected traditional rulers in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, as posted by Tracker NG on their X handle. So here is the conversation we are diving in today. I mean, the main essence of this media and the Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria is to strengthen, to help SMEs, small scale businesses in the country to grow. Looking and doing things that would advance small scale businesses, large scale businesses, and all of that. But then we see that this same sector that's supposed to looking out for small scale businesses is now buying um vehicles for traditional rulers, and it is making us to see that this is a misplaced priorities, and these are part of the things that we have in the budget, the 2024 budget. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Should we see this as one of the many things that the Nigerian government is doing to take away money from the national treasury, or maybe we should attribute it to errors, maybe typo errors, like we would always
It's
say when someone
certainly
make a mistake
it's
while
certainly not
typing, you
typo
say it's
error.
typo error. So
Yeah.
like who should we attribute this fault to?
What is not possible in a system where there is no accountability? What is not possible in a system where the people that are meant to serve people are serving themselves? Anything is possible. We've had a lot of you know audio projects. We have a lot of we've seen the government come out to tell us things that we are not seeing. All right. So at this point, I tell you that nothing is impossible. It is a further proof of the fact that these people have no intention to even look into the problem of the people. Imagine a time like this, such huge sum are allocated to buying of vehicles. Meanwhile, these things has no benefits or improvements on the economy of the nation at a time like this. So if these people, I'm talking about the people in power, the leaders, if they have the interest of the people, and of course, if not for some good source, who are helping us to get information like this, things like this wouldn't come out on the major newspapers where people will read them. All right. So it's a proof of the fact that the people we have in power are there for themselves. The agenda of taxing the people, is just basically for their own gain, because it is not reflecting to the to the to the to the to the people of Nigeria. People of Nigeria cannot come out to say that they are benefiting, and it's the reason why this coming, like we took yesterday, the people coming out to say enough is enough. Is the reason why things like this must happen. The people from Kenya, they said in the meeting that was held online with their president that enough is enough. We cannot no longer take the lies. So what we see coming out is people lying to us. They tell us something different to approve certain money, and they use the money on something that is contrary to what they tell us.
Part of the main things that is amusing in some of this misappropriation of the federal government budgets for 2024 is that, first, the Nigerian Institute of Oceanography, because the Smedan are not the only or they are not the only sector that they did, because this is pure budget podding.
Sure.
If we can have the picture on display so that our viewers can relate with what we are saying. The Nigerian Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research, that is supposed to be looking at how to studying body of waters, doing all of those things. They have everything they are doing is ocean related and all of that. Now, under this ministry, we have that they will be constructing a 3.5 kilometer Methodist church to the Erie River, and they allocated 2.3 billion naira to this thing. The question is that, is this body a
Connected.
religious organization? It is not a religious organization, so why spend so much money on that? And the Smedan headquarters, they allocate 1.2 billion naira to them to purchase of operational vehicle for security purposes across Oyo, Ogun, Lagos, Ekiti, Ondo, and Osun states. Small scale businesses, are you giving these businesses vehicles? You're not giving them any vehicles, and you're spending this amount of money, or you are allocating this amount of money. When you are looking at pure budget podding, the budget podding that they were discussing in the Senate House, that Senator Ningi raised in February, that the man was suspended for, that was just a fraction of it. This is the main budget podding, because if we calculate all of this money together, it is over half of the amount allocated for the 2024 budget. And all of these things now, we don't see all of these things happening, one. And secondly is the fact that under the ministries where they allocated all of this money to, they are not the ministries that are supposed to be taking care of this. I mean, I saw something on health, still under the budget. Okay, under Smedan, they allocate 300 million to them for construction of female ward in General Hospital. What happened to the Ministry of Health? Why are the Ministry of Health not the one doing this thing? Why is it under Smedan? So that was why I asked if it is typo errors, because obviously this is not typo errors. This is something that is done intentionally to take away money. And see on this table. So sometimes we look at the fact that the Nigerian government are sending money to some private accounts, which is against the Nigerian Constitution of 1999. And these people has not been brought to book. They do these things and they act like whatever we do, we will escape it. Nobody questions
because they are not accountable to anyone.
I mean, but Nigerians are seeing these things. We are, I will still come back to the National Assembly. The duty of the National Assembly is to question whatever that is ongoing, whatever that the federal government is doing that they are not supposed to do.
How can they question things that they are part of? That is the question. If these people have not been bought over, I am saying that the people we have there, they are no longer there for the people. Because what we see playing out in Nigeria now is that in the Nigerian leadership systems, the number of the people in support of this error is more than the number of people, if there is any, that are not in support of it. So because of the numbers of those who are part of this system, and because of what, okay, just look at someone raised an alarm on budget paddling, and that person was suspended. Nothing was done. All right, and it was the observation he raised was not an error, yet he was suspended. People are now afraid, even those that has good mind, they are now afraid to come out and say anything. They don't want to, a situation whereby this government does not want anybody to oppose them. Right? So what I'm saying is that if these people you are mentioning are not part of the system, or they've not been bought over, or they are not among those benefiting from the system, they would be kicking against it. But they cannot fight what they are part of.
All right. See, I still want to assume that this is typo error.
It cannot. But all this cannot be typo error.
No, let's just help them to assume now. Let's help them to assume that this is typo error. Now, the part that shook me to the bone is the fact that Smedan, a body that is supposed to be looking at small scale businesses, looking at their advancement, how they would grow to, they allocated 5 billion naira to them for the purchase of official vehicles to selected traditional rulers in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Multiple lots, 5 billion naira. Now, the question is that, how does the Nigerian government, how should we relate their whatever activities that they are doing to traditional rulers? What business do they have together that would warrant that they buy vehicles. You know, they bought vehicle for lawmakers. They
Yes.
they they gave a reasons for it that they are performing official duties. Nigerians tried to understand them that it is because these people are performing official duties. So we understand that, okay, this is why you are buying lawmakers SUVs. But traditional rulers, what justification do they want to give that would make them say they are buying SUVs for traditional rulers?
To be sincere with you, to be frank with you, there is nothing good enough to justify all the ways our leaders are channeling the resources of Nigeria currently. Now you are talking about what connection? Is it not clear? They do things to buy people that can arise to say no to this bad governance. They are doing everything, they know themselves. They are doing all these things to buy them over. So somebody who has gotten an SUV from the government and under this administration would not want to come out publicly to mobilize the youth or to say anything that is, that is true against the government. So it is obvious that this administration is bent on silencing by now. Should another party be the one in power, and this thing, Nigeria is in the state where it is now, what do you think the APC government will be doing? They would have come against the party and ensure that they destabilize their system. So, but you see that recently, somebody, Dangote was appointed as one of the, on what account was Dangote appointed for because they know that there are people that has voice in this country, and if they should arise, people want to join them. This is what this system, that is why they are busy lavishing, and they are not listening to the cry of the people. Rather, they want people who could arise and say something that will instigate the youths, the people, to come out and say enough is enough. They are trying to make them, close to themselves. That is what is playing out.
I would like to call out the Director General of Smedan, that's Charles Odi. Because if you look at all of these pictures, if you can still have all of these pictures in display, I would love that. If you look at this misappropriation that we currently have now, it is most of the money are under Smedan. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Most of the money are under Smedan. And this was a man that was appointed by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. He was appointed in October 2023. So he came into power. And look at all of this misappropriation, because I'm just trying to see that most of this money went into Smedan headquarters.
And that is
what
why
has he done?
It's not an error.
What has he done? Yes, he was saying, there was a time that I was saying that he was able to create 15,000 of employment opportunity for a population of over 200 people.
And who are the benefactors?
Do you know the funny thing is that the money allocated to this whatever is just 7 billion naira, and if you look at the amount of money that we have in this misappropriation is over 1 trillion. It is over 1 trillion. So if only if in just one agencies we have over 1 trillion allocated to them, and you can only account for 15,000 creation of jobs, so what are you using the remaining money for? So that means there's something about Charles Odi that we don't know, that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration know about, and Charles Odi himself knows about. Because if just one agency can have all of this misappropriation, all of this money allocated to them, what are they using the money for? This is not even their responsibility. There's some money that is allocated to building roads. What is the business of Smedan and building roads? Are they creating infrastructure for the small scale business to pass through? Is he under Ministry of Works? So there is something fishy about that agency that we need to know.
That is why we see that this administration is bent on appointing people, even people who are not, who lacks the capacity. What we see playing out in the government of Nigeria under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is appointment of people who are loyal to him, people who will dance to his tune, not people who are there to serve the people. And that is why, regardless of all the abnormalities and irregularities, nobody is checkmating them. That is why somebody can confidently loot, and we just hear the story on newspaper for once and the story is closed. That is why we keep on seeing money that should be used to help to tackle the issues we're having in the country being looted by people if the money is not there, we didn't
And
lose it.
another thing is that all of this misappropriation, none of them, none of this money is going to Nigerians.
At all.
There is one that they said they want to use it to build buildings for special advisors. It can't be one person, it can't be two person. No, I can say, oh, in all of this misappropriation, none of them is going down to Nigerian people or even to the well-being of Nigerian people. You see, for me, the fight for me is not to it is not to create, it is not to give Nigerians money. Because even if you give Nigerians money, there's no amount of money you want to give Nigerians now that will be enough to sustain Nigerians.
At
But
all.
in the fight for me is that doing things that will serve the Nigerian people. And all of this list that we have back to back from the beginning to the very end of it, I am not seeing any one of them that is for Nigerians.
They are not out to serve the people. It is clear, and any man can see is that this administration is not for the people. And that is why I said some time ago that the celebration of democracy in Nigeria is a waste of resources and a waste of time, because we are not, the Nigerians have not experienced true democracy under this administration. An administration that care less about the people's cry. You know, for a year, people have cried. People have cried based on the policies. People have cried. Now, what has the government, what has this administration done to the cry of the people? Doesn't mean they are not hearing. Doesn't mean they don't go to market. Don't they know that the hardship, of course, they are aware of the hardship, and that is why they have a hardship allowance, you know, among the allowances. All right. So it is very clear that they are there to suck people, to suck to, and aside from what they are getting, you know, every sector under this administration has questions to answer. Do you want to talk about the oil sector? Every sector has, and that is why we keep on hearing appointment of social person, appointment of this, appointment of that, and all these people that have been appointed are all, you know, they all have questions to answer. And I tell you, a time will come that they will answer that question. Nobody is asking the question now, but a time will come that the Nigerian, of course, Sorosoke Part 2, Sorosoke Phase 2, Sorosoke Episode 2, whichever way, is a movement that will bring about answers to so many questions in the heart of Nigerians.
All right. Still to prove that this administration is not a listening administration, as opposed to what some of the APC followers would say. A story broke out yesterday, and it states that a man was seen climbing a radio mast in Abuja. He threatens to end his life over hardship. Now, this man by the name Shaibu Yusuf, on Wednesday, he hails from Maduguri in Borno State, lamented that he was frustrated by unbearable economic realities and demanded that the president reverse the removal of fuel subsidy and tackle insecurity. Other demands include that he should open the border for food importation and declare an emergency in Zamfara, Kebbi, Kaduna, Sokoto, Katsina, Niger, and Borno State to end banditry. And this man also says the Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration should put an end to out-of-school children challenge. And this man made an attempt to kill himself in Abuja just yesterday. Some rescue team were able to salvage the situation, and currently, as we speak, is in the custody of the police division in Abuja. Now, here is another person threatening to kill himself. And, you know, the first thing that came to mind is that the administration that did not see people that protested,
that shut
how
down the
will they
economy.
see you that want to kill yourself? You know what we say, sometimes I just feel like we are catching cruise in this country, because this one person, who are you to even threaten this administration?
We become popular in different ways in Nigeria today. I want to say that anyway, he has made his moves, and of course they say he was promised that his demand will be channeled to the appropriate quarter. But what I want to say from what he has demanded, in as much as his demands are good. Now, in those states where he talk about schools, children being out of school, we have the governors.
Of course.
We have senators from those states. We have these people who are in the federal level, you know, cruising and cruising our resources while everybody. So what happened? Because see, to be frank, everything is not from the must not be settled by the federal government. We have huge sum allocated to states. All right. So what are the governors doing? Because in as much as the federal level is there, the federal government is there to support the state government on things that has overpowered the states. Okay. So, but to say that the federal government is the one to tackle everything is not true.
But we can see that what this man has outlined. We were cruising from the beginning of the story, and it is just so sad that this administration is not sensitive. The economy has gotten to so bad to the point that Nigerians are dying, not just the poor. Because this is just an average Nigerian who is lamenting. He's just an average Nigerian complaining. But we have over time, since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power, Nigerians have been lamenting, and it has been leading to people to suicide. I mean,
Sure.
the former Konga CEO who died in Lekki, was he not a rich man? He was a rich man. But I think there's a level of fear you get to, and you feel like, I'm not sure this thing can ever be better. There's a level of fear that encapsulates your heart so much that you feel like, I can't survive it. And what I'm just saying is that it is just coming to mind that this administration did not listen to NLC, did not listen to the cry of people, did not listen to the cry of the old, did not listen to the cry of the young. People are even threatening to kill self, and they are not listening. It is a proof that this administration does not care if you die to this economic problem. They don't care whether you are dead or alive.
Not at all.
They are not interested. They are not, because if they are interested, what this man has outlined is a general problem.
Yeah.
Now. It is
Not
something
even
that
selfish.
it is not for a selfish interest, because the states that this man outlined that they are out of school children, it is real. These are things happening. There are some states in Nigeria currently as we speak that if you see where they sit down to take lectures, I am not sure nothing can ever enter into those children's head. So it is a proof that this government are not interested in the future of Nigeria. Since I was born and now I am growing older, I've been hearing the children are the leaders of tomorrow. The leaders of the tomorrow are not being invested in. So you see that what this man has outlined is vital, but this administration is yet to look into any of it.
Well, what I want to say is that Nigerians do not need to kill themselves, because it is still in our hands.
I love that standpoint. So
yes,
we have to be alive.
We need to be alive
survive.
because a time it is still we that we say it is enough with this bad governance. If we kill ourselves, and because I'm sure they have a target. Their target is to reduce the population. So, but thank God for Nigerians, even things that kill people from other countries don't kill us. So we need to stay strong. And I want to say this, that to those that are jackpying, we equally need to stay back. Because we need to come out, we need to come out and put our voice together, and maybe when we shout in mass, they will hear us. All right? Because if you kill yourself, wait till you go tell Baba God. If you kill yourself, who will you blame? This economy is going to get better, and it is in our hands to stop them. Because their population is not up to the population of the masses. So don't kill yourself. And to that man, you have made your move, and it's a good one. We appreciate your agendas. But we can see that this government is not there for anyone. It's the government of the leaders, by the leaders, and for the leaders. That is their own democracy. Government of the leaders, for the leaders, and the leaders. Okay, so don't kill yourself. These people are not worth killing yourself for. We are going to come out and collect. Of course, if they don't want to give account, if your servant do not want to come and account for you, you call him or her for account. That is what is going to happen. So we need to stay alive to see the end of this shaggy.
All right. On this segment for Newspaper Review, this is all that we can take. But before we leave the studio, we would like that you follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Prime Media Studios. On the website where you're currently watching us, we are enginespeak.com. And you can do well to follow us on YouTube at EngineSpeak. I am Ayo. Until I come your way again, do have a great day.